I'm going to be really critical. I don't know how I'm going to get, however many people on my team, because everyone's going to suck. I'm thinking, like, it's going to be so hard to find someone that's that good.
But explain something to me. When you really listen to people sometimes, even as a judge on America's Got Talent, I'd be sitting there, I'd get caught up, I'd hear them sing, and I go, wow, they're really good. And then all of a sudden I'd go and listen to very famous singers, and I go, oh my God, there really is a huge difference. There is something, I don't know if it's the years of rehearsal or whatever.
I think that it has a lot to do with something you can't detach yourself from, which is the fact that when you listen to a singer that you know that's a famous singer, there's all these things attached to it that you're not necessarily thinking about, like what they look like, how they perform, who they are as a person, who they've been as a person in the culture over the years, like what they meant to you growing up or whatever. Like, those are things that are like part of the experience, I think, that are impossible when you're just listening to someone,
Why do you think, and I know this bothers you, but why do you think they haven't found a big star? Is it because basically we all know deep down inside that there's lots of people who could get up on a karaoke night and sing fantastically, but there are very few who have the charisma to be a stage performer, who have the chops musically, who haven't been working at their whole lives.
Yeah.
It's such a combination of things that just being able to sing is tip of the iceberg stuff. Is that it?
I think that's exactly it. I think people really grossly underestimate how hard it is to be a huge star in the music world.
It's almost, I think it's easier to get a spot on a football team, on the National Football League, than to become a legitimate pop star or rock star. I do. I think
your
that's
chances,
rarefied
your
air.
chances are like, they don't even exist. Like, you can't just churn out. That's the thing too. I think the format itself, like Kelly Clarkson, that was the first season of American Idol.
Yeah.
That's like literally impossible. So what happened with her is not reality.
Right.
I mean, it was so incredible, and she's obviously a monumental talent.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing where, like, it launched the whole show.
And
So it was
Carrie
so
Underwood.
powerful, and she's amazing.
Wasn't
Carrie,
it
too.
weird how American Idol did find legitimate people who had legitimate careers, and yet no other show is able to really capture that lightning in a bottle?
I mean, I don't want to get too. I can't call too many. But let's put it this way. I'll be relatively cryptic about what I think the big problem is. Like, when the baton is passed after, post Voice,
Right.
there's some problems.
What do you mean? Wait, I don't understand.
With some of the people take over after we do this great job of building these people up on the show, on the Voice.
Right.
There's some real issues there because American Idol had that down pat.
So in other words, there's got to be a plan. Post Voice, if somebody wins, you've got to sort of get the right mentoring. Have you ever been so moved on that show by a talent where you have said to them, I want to actually take an active role in your career when we get done with this?
I've tried with several artists to do that, whether it's been on the management side or whether on the label side, or trying to fight to get what they need after it, but it becomes so impossible to deal with all the crap that how the politics in the business.
In other words, because they're so locked up contractually, it's hard for you to even insert yourself.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're almost impossible. It's impossible to fight for them sometimes because they're so tied up in that.
Has anyone from The Voice said to you, hey, Adam, you seem to, you certainly know how to navigate those waters. Why don't you be part of the package afterwards? We'll cut you in, and no one has said that to you.
I don't think that they have much of a plan. I think that's the problem, is they don't come to me really.
When somebody wins The Voice, I guess within a month or two, they try to get out a CD or some sort of single or something. Is that the usual approach?
The rollout of all that is still such a mess. And by the way, just to clarify, this has nothing to do with what happens on NBC or with the people in that time. We do so much great shit for these singers,
right?
And then they go to a record label that I won't mention, but they go to a record label that fucks it up.
Now, why do they fuck it up? A record label should have learned something.
Record labels we're in the worst. Our business is the worst right now.
I know.
No one knows what they're doing in the record industry.
So because no one knows what they're doing, if someone wins The